Fine Divine Collective. Y'all know what I have noticed. A lot of people who are into spirituality, who is seeking spirituality and claim to be spiritual and think that they are spiritual, especially a lot of rookies or a lot of people who aren't as conscious but are spiritual, they tend to feel like just because someone else is spiritual or they're into spirituality, whether it be card readings, healing, Reiki, whatever the case may be, however that spiritual may come in the next person, they feel like they have to relate to that person. That person is good to them. They feel like they are on the same frequency, on the same level, that they, can relate, when that is not always the case. Spirituality comes in so many different forms, and spirituality is not always good and it's not always bad. So it's like people have to understand that just because somebody else is spiritual does not mean that they are your type of spiritual, or that they are for you and they are meant to be for you, or that you should even be around them, or that you should even consider them, or that they are even real. A lot of people have to take heed and have to be smart and wise about things. But just because somebody says that they are spiritual does not mean that they are even that. And even though someone might claim to be spiritual, does not mean that they could fulfill whatever it is that you are looking for, or whatever insight that you think that you can gain from that person, just because they claim to be spiritual. Some people are spiritual and don't even use the gifts or utilize the gifts that spirituality come with, or they misuse it and abuse it. Some people are spiritual and lie about it, and some people don't even really know what they're doing with their spiritual. So it's just like, you all have to really be a little bit more conscious, aware, and smarter about who you all let intertwine with you just because they claim that they are spiritual, and because you feel like you guys can relate, or you guys have something in common because you may be spiritual too. Because that is not always the case, and it's not always good. People lie, people deceive people, and people are con artists, people are manipulators. And just because they say that they're spiritual does not mean that they are not those things. So you just have to be careful and know who is who and who is real. That's why I always say, just let your spirit lead you. You do not really need somebody of the spirit to actually evolve in your spirituality. Yes, you can learn from others, but at the same time, you have to be conscious and smart about who you are dealing with too. So just be careful and realize that just because they are spiritual does not mean they are your type of spiritual, or that they are for you, or that they are good for you at all. Everybody who is spiritual, whether it's a healer, whether it's a psychic, whether it's somebody that you feel like you can trust, is not really always trustworthy. There's evil spiritual and there's good spiritual. There are demons and there are angels. So just because somebody claims that they are spiritual and they are telling you that they can do this or that, does not mean that you should let them do this or that, or be in their, does not mean that you should let them do this or that, or that you should be around them at all, okay? Because like I said in the beginning, spiritual comes in many different forms. So please be careful.